You know what the title of the show should be, Brandon? You know, when you do a little thing like two travelers whine, just whining Russo and whining Russo's filter.
So this is the thing that I do that you're going to think is funny. Is I always pay attention to the safety warning, the little briefing.
Yeah, that's stupid.
No, here's why. Because I believe that the flight attendants, when they're doing it, are watching to see who's paying attention. And if, God forbid, there's a problem, they're going to help the people who are paying attention before they help the people who weren't paying attention.
No, the only time I'll like fake pay attention because I feel bad for them. That's it.
Sure, if you're in like
they're talking and blah, blah, blah.
and you got to look right at them.
But no, I you know what's another pet peeve is now the pilot that has to feel like they have to come and shake everybody's hand individually.
Yeah.
Like we get it.
Blue. Like,
yeah. You don't really care. Delta's making you do this.
Yeah, right. You hate all of us right now just for the fact that you have to do this.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
Actually, I pilot's like one of those jobs like I wish I could do. It'd be awesome. I don't think I have the guts to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm
fascinated by those.
Captain.
I'm fascinated by those by airline pilots.
I'm intimidated by just the array of knobs and dials and things they have in the cockpit. It's amazing.
Well, I'd be the person I'm the clumsiest person ever. Like, can you imagine? Like, hey, Mr. Co-Captain, I'm going to go to the bathroom right now, and then I get up and accidentally turn off 16 switches and we fall from the sky.
It would be Airplane the movie. All right, so that's air travel. Let's move over to hotels. Give me your hotel pet peeves.
Not being upgraded.
Do you ask?
Now we're really the whining.
Yeah.
That is my pet peeve. I'm sorry. I get it. There's a finite amount of seats in first class. You can't put me up there every second. But God darn it, man, I've stayed at more Marriotts than anybody in this world.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you.
I should be freaking, I should be getting the King Suite in every freaking hotel. I shouldn't even have to ask.
Is your look, you probably know, I know mine, your lifetime stays in Marriott, is it 4 digits?
Oh, yeah, please.
Is it 5 digits?
No, not 5 digits, but I'll tell you.
Is it closer to 5 than 4?
No, it's probably over 2,000, though. And this doesn't include those times that I stayed at Westin's or Hilton's.
Up to this point, right.
And this doesn't include freebies, too. You don't get, this is paid.
Yeah.
So this doesn't include probably the 200-300 nights that I've stayed in hotels where, I've done it for, for free, essentially. I have stayed at 2,251 paid nights at a Marriott.
That's a lot.
2,251, let's just figure that out. 2,251 divided by 365. That's 6.16 real years of my life have been spent in a disgusting, fecal, all sorts of foreign objects hotel room.
Yeah. What's the first?
Bed bugs and
bed bugs is the least
unsanitary conditions.
You can see bed bugs without a black light, so those are the least of my worries.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. First thing you do when you get in a hotel room is. Other than set down your bag?
Plug in my laptop, plug in my phone, go check if there are bottled waters. If they're not, I usually run up to the concierge lounge. I do have a habit, I can't remember if we go to, I know every city where the convenience store is. Yeah. So, right now, I know that I can't remember if when we go to Dallas in a couple of weeks, if it's a weekend. If it's a weekend, I know the Marriott lounge will be closed there. So, on the way to the hotel, I'll stop at the 7-Eleven right off of I-35.
Yeah.
And I think it's 35 or 94. Yeah, 35. And I will buy 6 bottled waters. I'm a big, I just pound waters on the road.
I think that's what frequent travelers, I just want predictability because I can pack and arrange my mentality and my day around that predictability.
Yep.
For that scenario, if it's a weekend, it's this, then the club's gonna be closed. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's a huge part of the experience for me. Is don't move my cheese if I know exactly where it is and have planned for it as an eventuality.
Yeah. No. And I think that it's we all have our everything that we do. If I am staying in a hotel room for only 1 or 2 days, I usually don't unpack the bag. If covering the draft, I unpack everything. Depending on where I am, sometimes I'll actually put stuff in the safe because of an incident that happened in Italy a couple years, not a couple years ago. It was 14 years ago. It was the year that I moved to Minnesota. My hotel room was ransacked in Rome, and everything was stolen. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
But pet peeves in hotels. I don't have much other than I do like I am one of those people that I do expect that if you're staying at a Marriott that they should recognize that like I've stayed 6 years in a Marriott,
right?
And like I've called up Marriott.com and the woman that'll answer will sit. Actually, my ambassador at Marriott, she'll always answer the phone. So we have if you stay a certain threshold there and spend a certain amount of money, you have a personal ambassador. Mine's Tamiki Grant.
Nice.
And Tamiki, but like when I've called up, they're like, I've never seen anybody with as many nights as you, which I find hard to believe because I know there are a lot of people with more. But
wonder if that's interesting. I'm noticing that in full branded Marriotts, they have not gone away from the in-room desks as they said they were.
Well,
going
yeah,
to.
I think there were so many of us that complained that they did. I have no problem in hotels like Buffalo, San Francisco, the places that have 24 hours, 7 days a week, Calgary, concierge lounges. That if like in Calgary, there's a perfect example. They have this M Club now, which are 7 days a week, 24/7. Okay. These St. Louis, I think, also, and Calgary has gotten rid of the desks, but they have this club that I can go there 24/7 and write.
Yeah.
The ones that bothered me was at the St. Louis Marriott Grand once when they got rid of the desks, and you had nowhere to write, and they're like, "Oh, just write on your couch or write in the lobby in front." Right. I'm like, "No, that's not. Like I'm a business traveler. I need to work in my hotel room." Okay. And I remember the first time I was writing. The first time that I went to the St. Louis Grand Marriott without a desk was at the end of one season, like 3-4 years ago. The Wild were playing game 82 in St. Louis, but we were also spending the night there to find out if the Wild were playing St. Louis in the first round or Anaheim in the first round.
Okay.
So I was not only doing my post-mortem on the season and like a big Mike Yeo feature, if I remember, but then after the game, I had to go back and essentially write a quick story on the Wild's first-round opponent. And I had no desk. And Chad Graff and I were in the lobby of the hotel at like 10 p.m. on deadline writing – we had two stories. I remember Anaheim was playing something. If they won, the Wild played them. If they or lost, the Wild played St. Louis or something like that. And he and I had to work in the lobby of the hotel because we didn't have desks.
That's crazy.
So that stuff drives me crazy. I have a buddy he's one of the Veeps at Hyatt, and he always like he'll check into a hotel and Sydney, Australia, or Beijing or something, and he'll always take a picture of his desk and send it to me. We got desks at Hyatt.
Over at Hyatt.
Yep.
So, what's your most favorite perk, airline or flying or hotel, given that your status allows you to have access to?
I don't know. I haven't dealt with this.
Do you use your ambassador?
No. Sorry, Tamiki, but she doesn't help.
Have you tried? And she
I've
help you
called there a gazillion times, and you get nothing extra. I've tried to. Hey, can you get me an upgrade at the Cabo? Yeah, for $250 more a night. Stuff like that. And so they give you. I think Marriott should do a better job with the high rollers, so to speak. But my favorite perk, still is being upgraded first class, just because I work on planes.
Right.
You'll never see me reading a book. You'll never see me watching a movie. I watch when I work for the Strib, and Suhan and I would be traveling playoffs together. It'd drive me crazy watching him. He just sits down in his seat and pulls out like some DVD or watches whatever he's downloaded on his computer, and I'm sitting there writing gazillion stories. I can't do so I'm working. So if I'm in steerage, it's tighter than if I was up front. So up front just allows me to be more productive, in my opinion, on a plane. Actually, a good example is last week I was writing that Nick Sealer feature, and I had been procrastinating with it. Not really procrastinating, but it was like I was going to I was not happy with the way the story read.
Okay.
And I told my editor, Zach Pierce, and I said, I'm going to rewrite the story on the plane today. And that was the plane where the woman was in my lap, and there was somebody in the middle seat, and I just The Wi-Fi was shoddy,
Yeah.
and I just said to Zach, I'm like, you're gonna have to let me write it in the morning.
Right.
You know, like I can't be productive back here. So stuff like that. That's first class and things. But I'll admit, I love there's nothing cooler when you check into the Tampa Waterside Marriott and they give you the President Suite, or the I've had that in St. Louis. I had it in Kauai. Those type of things are just really neat.
Yeah.
And not your normal hotel room. I did get the Reserve credit card because it gives you, even though it's really not free because it's $450 annual fee, so it's not free to get the Sky Club because you'd have to pay that anyway. But it's supposedly supposed to give you a better chance of getting upgraded. I have not seen that possible. They do these regional upgrades on Delta. It's like hit or miss whether you even find an agent that knows how to do them. It's the most confusing thing ever. The agents don't even know what they're doing on that. But the biggest perk is still, as a business traveler, is getting to travel for free. I'm going to miss 2 home games in January to go to my cousin's wedding in Costa Rica.
That's right.
And I'm getting to fly for free there.
Yeah, that's huge.
And so that's amazing.
Yeah.
And just coincidentally, the hotel that my cousin and his fiance picked for their wedding is a Marriott property. I forget the name of the brand or whatever.
Yeah.
And so 3 of the 4 nights are free.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, we did a trip this summer to Europe, the 4 of us, and I bought all 4 plane tickets with points or with miles. It was great. I mean, that's awesome.
Well, you used to get such a bigger bang for your buck when I was younger. When I first started covering out, first of all, at the Sun Sentinel, where I started, I had a personal Delta card that I put everything on.
Yeah.
So I'd get 500,000-600,000 miles a year, and I would take everybody to Europe with me every single year.
Yeah, right.
And now you just can't do that anymore. You get it is, you used to be able to fly first class to Europe for like 50,000 miles.
Yeah.
Now now I'm flying one-way coach to Costa Rica for like 140.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of that.
You have any tips for people for how you deal with jet lag?
I don't really get jet lag, but I don't sleep
You're just
at all.
Over it?
Yeah, I don't sleep really a lot anyway, so I definitely have no to me maybe I get jet lag, but when I'm having trouble sleeping after a trip, I just figure that's the coffee.
So
and
get addicted to coffee.
Yeah, but I would say if you're flying to Europe, try to sleep going there, or you will be miserable because every trip to Europe. You land in the morning, so if you don't sleep on that plane going across, you are going to hate that first day in Europe.
Yeah.
Coming back to me is not an issue. Anytime you fly in the U.S. west to east, it's fine. East to west is where it gets tough. And so, actually, no, excuse me, the opposite. I have no problem going west. No, I said that. No, east to west.
Yeah.
All right, I forgot what I meant.
I knew you meant. We knew what you meant.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about from the hockey fans' perspective. I know you've done this sort of a la carte over the years in different shows as people have asked you, but let's get it all in one place. So for Wild fans based in Minnesota, from someone who travels a lot, so consider the ease of getting flights, the convenience of the airport to the city. Like Chicago is easy to fly to the airport.
Yeah, but you're right. It sucks.
You're 45 minutes to an hour away from the city.
I have started for the first time going to Midway. Like I've done that the last 3-4 years. I've only been to O'Hare like once in the last. I am actually coincidentally flying there in a month or so whenever we go there. But that's because it's a second of a back-to-back, and we get there like on a Sunday, and to me it's no big deal. But Midway is really convenient. Even to get downtown in the middle of rush hour is not too bad. But you're right. I have the tricks of every airport and things like that. But if you're asking like for a Wild fan, what trips would you want to go to?
Yeah.
Everything is different. It's like, what do you want? Are you looking for the best nightlife? Are you looking for the best restaurants? Are you looking for the best arena experience? Are you looking for the best fans? Are you looking, that type of thing? So everyone's different. I still always say if you want an awesome experience, go to Montreal from a hockey perspective. If you want, if you're in the heart of winter here in the Wild, have a trip to Vegas or Arizona or California, do that in a heartbeat. If you want really neat cities, Calgary and Vancouver. So stuff like that, I would always recommend. And then my favorite place in the world still is New York City. I mean,